Hi guys, it's Monday, Ranger in Time, Chapter 2, Rambling Sky. Whoops! Sadie looked down at the last bite of hot dog that slipped off her plate onto the grass. Hey Ranger, Luke said, looks like you're getting an extra treat. Ranger hurried over and gobbled it up. He loved hot dogs, and he loved it when Luke and Sadie's family had cookouts with their friends, the Terras. Someone was always dropping something. Ranger sniffed around the picnic table until a flash of brown near the garden caught his eye. Squirrel! Ranger ran after the squirrel, barking. He chased it through Mom's herbs and past the sunflowers. He chased it up and down the porch steps and all around the picnic table. Finally, the squirrel raced up a tall tree. It sat on a branch, chattering down at Ranger. Ranger barked a couple of times. Then he went back to sniff for one more hot dog piece. Ranger had never caught a squirrel, but he loved chasing them. Squirrels were the reason he wasn't an official search and rescue dog. Ranger had done weeks of search and rescue training with Luke and Dad. He'd learned to follow a scent trail to find a missing person. He'd practiced finding Luke in all kinds of odd places. He found Luke hiding in barrels and behind tree stumps. There he is, chasing that squirrel. Same Ranger that we know. He'd even found him once when he was buried in the snow. Ranger was good at finding people. But in order to be a search and rescue dog, you had to pass a special test. You had to ignore everything around you except the command you'd been given. You had to ignore dog treats and toys and juicy pieces of hot dogs. You even had to ignore squirrels. On the day of Ranger's test, a squirrel had run by, swishing its fluffy tail. Ranger chased it. He wouldn't have done that if a real person needed help, but he knew Luke was just pretending to be lost, like always, so Ranger did not pass his test. But he was still good at finding things like hot dogs. Ranger sniffed around under the picnic table until he found another piece Sadie had dropped. Then the sky let out a rumble. Uh-oh, said Luke's mom. We'd better move this party inside for dessert. Dad has peanut butter cookies in the oven. Everyone started picking up plates and food, but Ranger went straight to the door. He pawed at it and whined. Ranger did not like storms. Thunder made the hair on his neck feel nervous and prickly. You want to go inside, Ranger, Luke said. He opened the door. Go on, we'll be right there. Ranger went to his dog bed in the mudroom so he could curl up in his blanket and wait for the storm to pass. Another rumble of thunder shook the sky and Ranger whimpered. Then he heard a quieter humming sound. Ranger knew that sound. It was coming from a mysterious first aid kit he dug up from the garden one day. The old metal box made a humming sound whenever someone far away needed his help. Once the box took Ranger to a loud, scary beach where two young men were in danger. Another time it took him to the land of ash and smoke where he met a girl named Helga. Ranger pawed at his blanket until he uncovered the first aid kit. Beside it were some of Ranger's treasures. Bits of paper, metal, 2 feathers, things he'd brought back from his adventures the other times the old metal box had hummed. The box had taken Ranger to busy cities, frozen oceans, and quiet prairies, always because someone needed his help. Now it was humming again. Ranger pawed the leather strap over his head. The humming got louder and louder. Light began to spill from the cracks in the old metal box. It grew brighter and brighter until Ranger had to close his eyes. The first aid kit grew warm at his neck, and he felt as if it were being squeezed through a hole in the sky. Finally, the humming stopped and the box cooled. When Ranger opened his eyes, rain blew into them. But this wasn't the crisp, cool rain of home. The air here was hot, muggy, and thick. The wind rattled the street sign, and a girl called out, "Nana, Nana, where are you?" So Rangers traveled back to New Orleans in 2007. We'll hear more tomorrow. Have a great week. Bye.